For this lesson today, I want you to think about your campus principal, not the one that you currently work for. I want you to think about the campus principal that you had when you were in elementary school or middle school or in high school. Now think for a moment about that person. And depending how old you are, you may or may not have had a relationship with that individual. Thinking back to when I was a kid, thinking back to my elementary school days, my principal's name was Mr. Whitlock. Uh, I don't remember him at all. I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember seeing him in classrooms. So I'm not sure how much of an impact he had on at least me or even on our elementary school. By the time I reached middle school, my principal's name was Mr. Woodrow. And the only reason why I knew Mr. Woodrow is because his daughter was in my class. But I don't remember seeing him as much as I saw maybe the counselor or the assistant principals, and certainly the teachers. In high school, my principal was actually my driver's ed teacher, and that was the most interaction I ever had with him by the time I reached high school. In fact, I had far more interaction with my assistant principals than I did with my campus principal because I did get in trouble a few times. By the time I got into college and then moved on and took my first job as a high school teacher, my interactions with my principal varied depending on if I needed something for the department, if I had any questions about things. But I can remember my campus principal when I first took my first teaching job. She sat in her office a lot. She very rarely did walkthroughs, and if she did, she was really just kind of flying in, seeing what things looked like, and flying right out. I looked more to one of my assistant principals that I worked for back then named Dean Pritchard. And Dean Pritchard was one that was real supportive and pushing me to get my master's degree and go into the principalship, but was often very candid about what the principalship meant, what it looked like, attendance, discipline, books, those kinds of things. But when you take your master's degree, when you start your master's program, what happens is that we focus, particularly here at UNT Dallas, we focus on leadership traits, we focus on relationships, community, multicultural education. We work very hard to make sure our principals understand about teamwork and coaching teachers, having difficult conversations, but also having a deep understanding about instruction, assessment, accountability. All those things are built throughout the coursework, and those are things that we value here at this university. And if you come through our program, you're going to be tested on these issues, and we want to strengthen you as a principal so that when you get your campus, you have an idea of how all these things work in concert together. But my question for you that I want you to ponder today for this lesson and this module is I want you to think very deeply about how the role of the principal has really evolved, even just in the last 30 years. This used to be a full-fledged project that I asked students to do with a little bit of research, but a lot of students found it difficult. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about it. Talk to some people and about their experiences, and I would try to reach out to as many people as you possibly can in various age ranges and perhaps even various regional areas. Try to ask people outside of Texas. If you've got friends or family who didn't go to school here, talk to them about the experiences they had with their principal. What kind of impact did their principal have on them? And think about your own experiences, elementary, middle school, high school. Think about that principal. Did you see them often? Did they do walkthroughs? Did they build relationships with students? What kind of principal were they? Because I think you're going to find that the role of the principal has significantly evolved over the last 50 years or so. And what I want to know what that looks like. So if we can collect this information as a class, and we can look at some of the nuances and aspects and concepts of what it means to be a principal dating back, say, 50 years ago to even today, we could probably build out what it transforms and looks like. So what you'll want to do, interview some folks, talk to some people, 1, 2, 3 people, looking for people in various age ranges, looking for people who may have gone to school outside of Texas. But if they went to school in Texas, that's fine too. But just to try to get a broader experience of what it was like to be what their principal was like for them. And then in the discussion board, just detail that out for us. And some of the people you talked to and some of the concepts you drew from that conversation. Nothing significant, nothing elaborate, but what we're looking for is themes. We're looking for concepts. And then we're going to pull those themes out as a class, and we'll map them out, and we'll see if we can find that transformation together. The differences, how principals acted 50, 40, 30 years ago, and what we expect principals to do now, even today. So we call this the Evolving Principal Project, and I think it'll be fun to do, just to find out what were principals like back then. Because I can tell you, the one time I saw my principal in elementary school, the one that I don't remember, he's the one that gave me swats on the back of my behind when I made mistakes back in 3rd grade, and that I've never forgotten. So work on this project and we'll discuss in class. Thanks.